Welcome back, brother and sister. Every night before the ultra-successful 1% drift off to sleep, they engage in a powerful mental ritual that resets their subconscious mind. It's not about meditation or sleep hacks or the usual self-help fluff. It's about commanding their brain to work for them overnight. The elite know something most people ignore. Your final thoughts before sleep carry the most influence over your subconscious programming. So, as the world goes dark, they deliberately plant visions of success, specific goals, and positive emotions. They imagine their desired future in vivid detail, not just what they want, but how it feels, sounds, and even smells. This isn't wishful thinking, it's neural conditioning. The brain, unable to tell the difference between real and imagined, accepts these images as truth and begins aligning their reality accordingly. That's why the 1% wake up focused, certain, and already in momentum. Because while they slept, their minds were already working ahead, building the future they rehearsed. They also understand the importance of releasing resistance. Unlike the average person who goes to bed stressed, replaying mistakes or worrying about tomorrow, the 1% have trained themselves to let go. This doesn't mean pretending everything's perfect. It means they mentally clear space by reframing problems as puzzles and believing that solutions are on the way. They trust in their ability to adapt and respond. They don't argue with reality, they accept and redirect. This sense of surrender isn't weakness, it's emotional intelligence. It allows their nervous system to relax, their sleep to deepen, and their clarity to increase. They aren't falling asleep with unresolved chaos in their minds. Instead, they're calmly instructing their brain, handle it, solve it. Show me how tomorrow. That mindset becomes a magnetic field, attracting insight, opportunities, and energy. By the time morning arrives, they're already 2 steps ahead. Not because they worked all night, but because they knew how to let go and allow their mind to work with them, not against them. What sets the elite apart is their discipline with attention. Before sleep, they don't doom scroll, binge media, or flood their brain with distractions. They treat their pre-sleep window like sacred ground. It's when they feed their mind intentional content, books, affirmations, plans, or even a moment of gratitude. They know the subconscious is like fertile soil, and what you plant before bed grows overnight. If they want to become more resilient, they replay moments of strength. If they want to build wealth, they focus on abundance, not lack. It's a conscious act of mental gardening. They weed out fear, doubt, and regret and replace them with images of success, peace, and power. Over time, this practice doesn't just feel good, it reprograms their identity. They wake up feeling more confident, more aligned, and more capable because their subconscious has been soaking in those thoughts for hours. This is why small rituals done consistently create massive transformations. While the world sleeps mindlessly, the 1% are training their minds for greatness. Soyası devasta vakılıyoruz. Veşit does not be. Another trick they use is reviewing progress, not to judge but to adjust. Most people either avoid self-reflection or beat themselves up with it. But the successful treat it like data collection. Before bed they ask, what did I do well today? Where can I improve? What did I learn? This isn't about guilt or shame. It's about evolution. They observe without attachment, take mental notes, and make micro-adjustments. That's how they grow daily. This reflection also reinforces their sense of direction. Even if things didn't go perfectly, they remind themselves that they're moving forward. It's the compounding of small course corrections that leads to massive breakthroughs over time. This habit keeps them connected to their goals and values. It ensures they're not drifting or reacting blindly. With every night, they become sharper, more aware, and more aligned. And when that becomes your norm, success isn't a sudden leap, it's an inevitable outcome. This is the mindset architecture. The 1% build quietly, while the rest chase hacks and quick fixes. Gratitude is another mental lever they pull. Not the kind that's forced or posted on social media for likes, but real, felt gratitude. They don't just list what they're thankful for, they feel it deeply, viscerally. They close their eyes and let gratitude wash over them like a warm current. They thank their body for working hard, their mind for being sharp, the challenges for teaching them something. They look at the things they once wished for and now have. This emotional state calibrates the nervous system for peace and abundance. Science backs this up. Grateful people sleep better, feel less anxiety, and make better decisions. But more than science, it's about frequency. Gratitude lifts them into the energetic state of receivership. They stop resisting and start allowing. Their sleep becomes a portal of healing and rejuvenation, not just rest. The 1% don't wait for things to be perfect to feel grateful. They use gratitude to create that perfection from within. Wenn du willst geziehst, wirst Sinn. That's the frequency they fall asleep in, and that's the energy they wake up with. They're also intentional with what they want to feel the next day. While most people set goals like tasks, go to gym, finish project, the 1% set emotional intentions. They ask themselves, how do I want to feel tomorrow? Empowered, calm, focused, creative. Then they mentally rehearse it. They see themselves moving through the day with grace and certainty. They visualize walking into meetings with confidence, working with flow and responding with clarity. This emotional priming is powerful because it wires the brain to recognize and create those experiences. The next day, when those moments arise, the mind says, "Oh yes, we've been here before." You respond instinctively because you've already practiced. That's how they avoid overwhelm and emotional reactivity. They don't hope for a good day. They design it the night before through mental rehearsal. And like any architect, they know that what's designed with clarity gets built with precision. Sleep is simply the space where the blueprint turns into construction. One of the biggest differences is how they view rest itself. The average mindset treats rest as earned, something you get only after suffering or hustle. But the 1% see rest as strategic. It's not the opposite of productivity, it's the source of it. They know the quality of their decisions, creativity, and leadership is directly tied to how well they sleep and recover. So before bed, they don't push harder. They prepare for deep, clean rest. No heavy food, no late-night arguments, no last-minute stress dumps. They wind down like professionals. Maybe it's a hot shower, journaling, breathwork, or soft music. But it's intentional. Their sleep is treated like a scheduled meeting with their future self. This mindset flips the entire cultural script. Instead of seeing sleep as passive, they treat it as the most powerful performance enhancer on the planet. Every night is a reset, a reboot, a strategic upgrade. That's how they keep showing up energized when others burn out chasing results without recovery. The elite also understand the link between sleep and identity. Before they close their eyes, they reinforce who they are becoming. They might repeat a single phrase, "I am disciplined, I create wealth, I attract the right people." These are not affirmations in the cheesy sense. They are reminders of their evolving identity. By doing this right before sleep, they impress those beliefs deeper into the subconscious. Because the brain is more suggestible in the minutes before sleep, these identity statements bypass critical filters and settle in. That's how change becomes automatic. The more they affirm who they are becoming, the less they act like who they were. Over time, this changes decisions, habits, posture, even tone of voice. It all begins in the mind, and it's rehearsed in the silence of night. They understand that identity creates action, and action creates results. So while most people fall asleep to distractions, the elite fall asleep to declarations. That's how they rewrite their internal story and build an external reality to match. They also prioritize clarity. Many people go to bed in a fog, confused, distracted, unsure of their next step, but not the 1%. They know confusion is the enemy of execution. So before they sleep, they simplify. They ask, what's my one priority tomorrow? What deserves my energy? What can I let go of? This act of evening simplification does two things. It calms the nervous system and programs the subconscious to focus. When they wake up, they're not drowning in decisions. They already know their direction. Clarity is what gives them speed. Instead of reacting all day, they execute with intention. It's not about doing more. It's about doing what matters. And that clarity doesn't come by accident. It's chosen the night before. This mindset eliminates 80% of mental clutter. It's a simple shift, but a profound one. While the world is overwhelmed by options and chaos, the 1% rest in the power of clarity. That's why they move faster with less effort, because they know exactly where they're going. They also use the night to set energetic boundaries. Most people carry the day's chaos into their dreams. Arguments, deadlines, scrolling, emotional noise. But the elite don't let that energy enter their rest. They close loops, they forgive people, they disconnect. Sometimes that means mentally releasing conversations or even visualizing a protective shield around their energy. They aren't being mystical, they're being responsible. Emotional hygiene is as important as physical hygiene. They understand that unprocessed emotions don't disappear, they resurface. So they process them with maturity. They journal, breathe, or talk it out, whatever clears the air. Then they sleep clean. This is why they don't wake up heavy. Their mornings are light because their nights were intentional. It's not magic, it's maintenance. While others carry emotional baggage for weeks, the 1% deal with it nightly. That's how they stay emotionally agile, mentally sharp, and spiritually aligned. The discipline of energetic hygiene is rarely taught, but it's one of the biggest secrets of high performers. They also know how to command the brain. Before sleep, they often give their subconscious a job. This is a powerful trick used by inventors, artists, CEOs, across centuries. The mind continues working while the body sleeps. So they'll pose a question: how can I solve this? Or what's a better way to approach tomorrow's challenge? Then they let it go. No stressing, just planting the seed. More often than not, they wake up with clarity, new insight, or a sense of direction. This isn't random. The brain has a background processing mode called the default network. While asleep, this network connects dots, sifts through ideas, and creates connections that conscious thought can't. By using this intentionally, the 1% turns sleep into a genius zone. It's like outsourcing work to their own mind. Instead of burning out trying to figure things out during the day, they ask better questions at night and let their brain do the heavy lifting. That's how they consistently come up with better solutions and ideas. They don't chase motivation, they train discipline. And discipline begins the night before. They know that how you end your day determines how you begin the next. So they aren't careless with their night rituals. They prep clothes, review their calendar, and decide on the mindset they want to wear in the morning. This isn't about rigidity, it's about lowering friction. They know if everything's ready, there's less resistance. That's how consistency becomes effortless. Motivation is fleeting, but systems stick. And the best system starts with preparation. Every decision they make at night is a vote for the identity they're building. They don't wait until morning to feel inspired. They make it easy to act inspired. That's the trick. While most people try to force willpower at 7 a.m., the 1% made the path smooth at 10 p.m. It's a quiet discipline, but it creates loud results. You don't need to be prepared. You need to be prepared. Vai tu geredes nees a subtrie, forfaze. That's the edge they protect while the world scrolls mindlessly into sleep. Their night ritual is never random. Even if it's short, it's deliberate. They might light a candle, play a calming playlist, or do a 5-minute mind dump. But they do something that signals to their brain. It's time to reset. This consistency builds psychological safety. The body knows what to expect. Stress drops. Sleep quality improves. It's the rhythm that matters. Like athletes have pre-game rituals, the 1% have pre-sleep rituals. It might seem small, but these signals train the nervous system to shift from go mode to grow mode. That's how deep rest begins. And in deep rest, the body heals, the brain regenerates, and creativity renews. Without that ritual, people carry the chaos of the day into the night. That's why they wake up foggy, anxious, or already tired. But the 1% sleep with a sense of closure. Their rituals tell the brain, today is complete, tomorrow will be stronger. And because of that, their sleep becomes an advantage, not just a necessity. Even their relationship with dreams is intentional. They don't dismiss them as nonsense. They treat them like messages. Sometimes symbolic, sometimes direct. They'll journal fragments in the morning, not to decode everything, but to become more aware. This connection deepens their self-awareness. They understand that the subconscious speaks in symbols and dreams are its language. The more they pay attention, the sharper their intuition becomes. It's not about mysticism. It's about insight. Dreams are a mirror of inner life. The 1% know that ignoring the subconscious is like ignoring your most loyal advisor. So they pay attention. They don't overanalyze, but they listen. And sometimes the next big idea, the warning or the breakthrough shows up at 3:47 a.m. They're open to it. Because they trust that the mind, when cared for, becomes a partner in success. While others sleep and forget, the elite sleep and connect. That connection becomes a compass, quietly guiding their decisions with wisdom the waking mind alone can't reach. All of this comes down to one truth. The 1% use sleep as a tool, not just a break. They don't fall into bed exhausted from a life they're trying to escape. They enter rest with intention, purpose, and clarity. They treat the final hour of their day as sacred ground, the lab where they create, tomorrow, They understand that you don't just wake up successful, you sleep into it. Every night they script their story, clear their mind, and align their energy. This isn't about being perfect or never having bad days. It's about choosing to end each day with alignment, regardless of the chaos. That's the quiet power most overlook, and it's available to anyone. You don't need wealth to do this. You need awareness. You need intention. You need to care about who you're becoming, not just what you're achieving. That's the real trick. And once you start using it, the world will begin bending in your favor, one quiet, powerful night at a time. So tonight, before you sleep, don't just close your eyes. Close the gap between who you are and who you're becoming.